Our Fox 5 team will have you covered all over the place. And of course, we will have you covered from Las Vegas, where our very own Kelly Price is live in Las Vegas. And Kelly, I know there's a lot going on in Vegas. Are you staying focused and watching these guys getting ready for one of the biggest days of their life?
Well, honestly, we really haven't had a lot of time to enjoy what you would normally enjoy here in Vegas. We are actually here at the NFL Experience. Actually, if you want to take a look behind me, this is the very stage that about 24 hours from now, we'll all hear that familiar pick is in sound. The first round picks will be announced by Roger Goodell, who actually was just up here checking out the setup here in Vegas. We've seen all kinds of fans so far at the airport, on the Strip, in the hotels on the way here. And on our flight here this morning from Atlanta, we saw some Dolphins fans, some Vikings fans, yes, some Saints fans, but also plenty of Falcons fans, including, of course, the Delta crew.
Welcome to Vegas, baby. Let's go NFL draft. Yes!
You're obviously watching what the Falcons do with that number 8 pick.
Oh, yes.
Prediction.
That's going to be interesting because we got a lot of holes that we'd like to fill. Edge rusher would be nice for Trayvon to go there. But, you know, obviously we're looking for a quarterback as well. So not really sure which way they're going to go, but I trust them. I want to be right up at the stage. Again, I want to see a record number of Bulldogs go across the stage. I think Kirby's done a phenomenal job.
So Atlanta has drafted 9 dogs in its history, including our own very DJ Shockley. The last time they drafted a dog, though, was in 2011, Akeem Dent. DJ, what Bulldog do you think would be the best fit in Atlanta?
Oh, Kelly, that's a really good question. I think Trayvon Walker. I mean, Trayvon Walker is so versatile.
Touches are happening in Las Vegas for the backdrop for the NFL draft tonight. This is going to certainly be a big party.
It's in Vegas. It's got to be a party, right? The league expects a record crowd for a draft. They're saying around 500,000 attendees will be there. Fox 5 Sports' Kelly Price joins us live from Vegas with more. Kelly.
Yeah, guys, I fully believe that they will hit that number here in Vegas. It is packed here out on the Strip. We have the stage behind us where the first round picks will be announced later today by Roger Goodell. As for the Falcons, there's really no consensus on who they might pick with their number 8 overall pick. More than recent years, there's really no consensus what those number 1 through 7 picks will be, which makes GM Terry Fontenot's job a little bit more difficult in that first round. The Falcons are looking for someone who can make an immediate impact. They'll be looking for possible starters with all 4 of their top 75 picks. Will they sniff at a quarterback? Perhaps, Fontenot said, saying there's not really one position they don't need to add to. And the fans here we've talked to in Vegas, they're hungry for all 9 of Atlanta's draft picks to pan out. Some are just hungry to get a glimpse of these top prospects, including a Raiders fan we found this morning camping out at 3 a.m.
We'll catch up with the Falcons and go Falcons! NFL draft, having a great time.
Show off the swag there.
I'm Michael Vick. All you can day. All day, baby.
Do the right thing. We need Malik. Falcons.
So at what point were you like, all right, I'm going to get up at 2 a.m., whatever time you got up, and come over here and sit here?
Maybe about 1 o'clock when I was contemplating, should I get up? Is it worth it? But after thinking about it, this is a one-time event for me, so I had to get up, and I felt that it was a great opportunity for me to have the opportunity to see any players that I can, or anybody, newscasters as well, from Atlanta.
On the Georgia Bulldogs side of things, 3 of those guys are here in Vegas to possibly be selected tonight in that first round. I'll have more on them later on during our Dirty Bird Report Path to the Draft special later on, guys. In Vegas, Kelly Price for Fox 5 Sports.
You're looking fabulous, Kelly. I know you're ready for the big night, so we will see you later.
We got folks in Flowery Branch. We're here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but Kelly Price may have the sweetest deal of all. She is out in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada, site of this year's draft. Kelly, tell us what it's like out there.
You guys, it is crazy out here. They're expecting 500,000 people, and let me tell you, it feels like there might even be more here. I'm going to step aside so we can see the NFL Experience in the shadow of where they're going to be announcing tonight's picks. The Bellagio just across the way, where 21 of the top prospects just walked that red carpet. It's kind of a carnival-like atmosphere here. Flag football games, face painting, photo ops. Haven't seen any mobile slot machines out here, but we are still in Vegas, so the prospects had to show out with some glitz, some glamour on the red carpet, including Atlanta's own Malik Willis, rocking those silver sneakers. We'll have more on him later in the show. We've seen fans of all 32 teams out here in Las Vegas. Some are just hungry to get a glimpse of these top prospects, including a Raiders fan we found this morning camping out there at 3 a.m.
We'll catch up with the Falcons and go Falcons! NFL Draft, having a great time.
Show off the swag there.
I'm Michael Vick. All you can day. All day, baby.
Do the right thing. We need Malik, Falcons.
So at what point were you like, all right, I'm going to get up at 2 a.m., whatever time you got up, and come over here and sit here?
Maybe about 1 o'clock when I was contemplating, should I get up? Is it worth it? But after thinking about it, this is a one-time event for me, so I had to get up, and I felt that it was a great opportunity for me to have the opportunity to see any players that I can, or anybody, newscasters as well, from Atlanta.
Whether you're a Raiders fan, whether you're a Falcons fan, you just want to see someone that's going to help your team, and that's the consensus we've heard from all the different fans here. Guys, I'll send it back to you guys at Mercedes-Benz.
Atlanta native Malik Willis has been one of the most hyped up QBs in his class and possibly one of the wild cards as well.
Wild card, Vegas. I see what you did.
You like that?
Clever.
It's like a little wild card. All right, but and as one as the top passers in this year's draft, the Falcons and their fan base definitely have an eye on Willis. Kelly Price has more in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and you gotta love the chip on Malik Willis's shoulder, right? You saw it there, kind of the spiciness and how he wants to prove all these doubters, all these haters wrong. He's been doing it his whole life. He told me he's been working hard, even when he transferred from Westlake to Roswell and from Auburn to Liberty. He's been trying to work hard to prove everyone wrong, including now on the doorstep of his NFL dream.
I didn't have an option. There wasn't a lot of big schools calling my phone, so I went with what I had. I was definitely appreciative of another opportunity.
Transferring to Liberty in 2019 was one thing. In 2021, he's got plenty options, as in every NFL team calling his phone nowadays. But he says it's not hard to cancel out all the noise around him on draft day.
Not really. They just said I was trash like a couple years ago, so it is what it is. They said I was like 123rd out of 138 starting FBS quarterbacks 2 years ago, so they can say what they want to. They can't really, get up under my skin too much.
I try to remind him of situations of previous drafts when guys have been mocked high, and then come draft day they sitting in the room and they thought they were going high, and now they sweating, the light beaming on them, and it's an uncomfortable situation, so you just try not to think about it in that way. You're blessed to have an opportunity to even compete to be drafted, and you kind of just got to let the chips fall where they may. Kind of cliche, but emotionally, it's the best approach.
And of course, one of the 32 teams he has talked to, his hometown Falcons.
It was cool. It was definitely, kind of crazy feeling, going from, a little kid just out there tailgating to they talking to me like, for me, it was crazy. We used to go cook out and stuff with tailgate in front of the old Georgia Dome.
That's just what he's been striving for since he was 4 years old. That I want to play one day on Northside Drive. That was his thing. So hopefully you'll be able to play on Northside Drive.
As an Atlanta guy, he told me Matt Ryan was one of his favorite quarterbacks, watching him growing up, learning from him. What a wild full circle moment it might be for Malik Willis if the Falcons do pick him tonight at number 8 overall. With more in Flowery Bench on maybe if that happens, let's go to Justin. Welcome back to the Dirty Bird Report, Path to the Draft special. We are live from Las Vegas, where things are certainly heating up ahead of the NFL Draft first round, which kicks off in about 20 minutes. We heard about Trayvon Walker, one of those standout stars for the Georgia Bulldogs, but 3 additional key pieces of that national championship defense are in attendance in Las Vegas tonight. Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis, and Devontae Wyatt are here in Sin City as well. 2018 saw the most dogs go in the first round with 3. That was Roquan Smith, Isaiah Wynn, and Sony Michel. Last year, a record 6 Georgia products were drafted in the first 3 rounds. And since we are in Vegas, I'll let you in on a good bet tonight. It is very likely this 2022 UGA draft class is going to be even bigger than that, after 14 of them took part in the NFL Combine.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm surprised I'm in this position. You know, it's something that I work for, something that I dream for all my life. So I've been working for it, and I'm just excited for April and just see where I go in the draft. I'm gonna give it everything I got. You know, give everything for the team. I feel like my mentality sets me apart from anybody in this draft class. You know, and I do feel like I'm the best linebacker in this draft class, regardless of what they might think.
As I was writing about myself, I was like, this guy's amazing. He's the best guy I ever met, man. But definitely, that was me, man. I love this guy. He got great personality. He can move, and he definitely is gonna be a great player in the NFL. That's something that I'll say about myself.
And for those of you who wear red and black on Saturdays and Sundays, it could be the year the Dirty Birds bring in one of these Georgia Bulldogs. Just look at the smile on Dean's face when he was asked about talking to the Falcons at the Combine.
I love that we was able to talk ball. Yeah. You know, they came in, they asked me, of course, all the background information, but then it was mostly about ball. It was mostly about what we did at Georgia and a little bit of what they do. So it was like and what they expected me. So it was like I love that aspect of the meeting.
I don't want to put out any preferences or anything, but being a Georgia kid, you definitely have your eyes to the Falcons and everything. But at the end of the day, it's 32 teams. You never really know where you're going, but
That right there, that is the future face of a franchise if I've ever seen one. So as for Atlanta, they have only drafted 9 Bulldogs in their history, including our guy, DJ Shockley. The latest was Akeem Dent, the linebacker, in 2011. So we'll see if that history changes in this 2022 NFL Draft. We'll be right back.
All right, it's going to join us from Las Vegas. Justin Felder is live for us in Flowery Branch.
Kelly gets the first.
We're all going to make that pick, so we're going to let Kelly, ladies first. Kelly, who for the Falcons pick at number 8?
Well, DJ stole my pick already. I was going to say Jermaine Johnson, especially after seeing him walk through the red carpet with that yellow suit. I mean, come on, you got to draft him for the drip alone. No, but I met him at the Senior Bowl. I really loved his confidence, his energy. I think he's going to be great in the pros. And the Falcons, as DJ said, really need help at that edge rushing position. I personally think he'd be a great fit for the Falcons, and I'd love to see him trash talk and maybe sack a couple NFC South quarterbacks over here.
Kelly, I love that pick. It is a big-time pick, and I agree with you on that pick, so I like where you're going.
Draft gets underway in Las Vegas. Teams, including the Falcons, will be looking to improve their roster for the upcoming season. Fox 5 Sports' Kelly Price is live for us in Sin City ahead of a big night in pro football. We can't wait. How's it going, Kelly?
It's going great. The sun has just risen here in Las Vegas. There's some people kind of milling around. There's some runners happening here, which is interesting because it is Vegas. The stage right behind me is actually where those first round picks will be tonight. The Falcons could really go any way with the number 8 overall pick. Could they go corner, edge rusher, maybe even a quarterback, maybe to throw to a wide receiver they might get later in this draft. One quarterback that has been linked to the Falcons is Malik Willis, who's actually from Atlanta. He went to Westlake and Roswell High Schools. He's out of a Liberty. He is someone that will probably be walking this stage right behind me. If you want to take a look at the red carpet here, he will probably be walking the stage later tonight as a first round selection. There's been a lot of takes about Malik Willis's readiness for the NFL, if he could be the next big thing in this new generation of NFL quarterbacks, but he told me it is not too hard to drown out the noise on draft night.
I mean, not really. They just said I was trash a couple years ago, so I mean, it is what it is. I mean, they said I was 123rd out of 138 starting FBS quarterbacks 2 years ago, so they can say what they want to. They can't really, get up under my skin too much.
I try to remind him of situations of previous drafts when guys have been mocked high, and then come draft day, they sitting in the room and and they thought they were going high, and now they sweating, the light beaming on them, and it's an uncomfortable situation. So you just try not to think about it in that way. You know, you're blessed to have an opportunity to even compete to be drafted, and you kind of just got to let the chips fall where they may. Kind of cliche, but emotionally, it's the best approach.
As for the Falcons, GM Terry Fontenot said this week they've done a lot of work investigating this quarterback class. They would like to add to their quarterback room in this draft, but it's really anyone's guess, and there's not really any good bets here in Vegas as far as who the Falcons may select with that number 8 overall pick with so many needs on this roster. We're live at the NFL Draft. Kelly Price, good day, Atlanta.
We will be watching and waiting tonight, no doubt about it. All right, Kelly, thank you.
Lots of Georgia Bulldogs going in the first round. Kelly, good morning.
Yeah, lots of happy Georgia Bulldogs fans watching last night's first round. It was a historic night, and Dogs on top once again here in Las Vegas for the first round of the NFL Draft. Georgia had a program record 5 players selected last night in the first round, beginning with the very first pick of the entire draft in Trayvon Walker, who went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. After that, it was Jordan Davis going 13th overall to the Philadelphia Eagles, who actually traded up to get him. And then after that, it was Quay Walker and defensive lineman Devontae Wyatt going to the Green Bay Packers at 22 and 29 overall, rather. And finally, safety Lewis Cine was a Minnesota Viking after the 32nd overall pick to close out that first round. We were there when Jordan Davis actually saw his teammate Devontae Wyatt being drafted on TV. Take a listen.
It was just the thing across the defense, you know, with my brother Devontae Wyatt, who just got picked. Like, literally, he's up there. Super excited for him. The people. You build so many relationships. You build so many connections with people, and even though you're going to a new city, you still want to keep them up. You still want to make sure that they're doing okay, and you know, I know they're going to support me from afar. You know, I'm not going to be in Georgia anymore, but no matter what, I know that I'm going to have that love.
So those first 5 picks for the Georgia Bulldogs last night actually broke the previous first round record that the Georgia Bulldogs held with 3 in 2018. And actually 3 defensive linemen for the Georgia Bulldogs going in that first round. That beats Clemson, who had 3 in 2019. So that's the most in the Common Draft era. Big night for the Dogs, and there's likely to be more tonight in rounds 2 and 3, Buck.
Kelly, we're going to hit on the Falcons pick coming up in just a second, but I wanted to get your take on it. They took Drake London, number 8. Mixed reaction here in Atlanta. What's the vibe out there in Vegas?
Well, there was certainly an audible, oh, interesting to the pick when we heard it in the media room here at the draft. But I think I like the pick. It's a big-bodied receiver. Arthur Smith kind of needs another weapon outside of Kyle Pitts. I think those two guys in an offense, even if it's not next year, down the road, that's going to be a really dangerous combination. So we'll see what they do today to add. I personally really wanted to see them get an edge rusher. I really liked Jermaine Johnson out of FSU. That was my pick in our draft special last night. I thought they were going to get him, and he was on the board at number 8 overall. But we'll see if they get an edge rusher today. It is a deep edge rushing class.
With a lot of need, so I guess you got to start somewhere, and they started with receiver. Kelly Price live out in Las Vegas. Thanks a lot, Kelly.
It's the second time in draft history the first 5 picks were used on defensive players. Fox 5's Kelly Price joins us from Las Vegas this morning with more on what was really just a historic night. Good morning, Kelly.
It was, from all the Bulldogs being selected in that first round to Drake London being the first receiver off the board to the Falcons at number 8 overall. There was so much going on, but the dust is settling here on round 1 in Las Vegas as we prepare for the second and third rounds later today. We are live out here in front of the Bellagio fountain where those picks went across the stage behind me on the fountain. It was a great night, great backdrop here, and lots of fun had in Vegas last night. We still see some people kind of milling around here from last night's shenanigans. But on to Drake London, the Falcons pick. They do believe that he was the best guy on the board when they were on the clock at number 8 overall. They feel like he deserved to be that first receiver off the board. Let me tell you a little bit more about Drake London. He spent 3 seasons at the University of Southern California. He said living in a city like LA really helped him mature. Last year, he earned All-America, All-Conference honors. He was the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year. He also played basketball at USC. And he described his game as fearless last night. He said he models his game after Mike Evans, who plays for the Buccaneers, and Calvin Johnson. London also said he communicated a lot with the Falcons throughout this process, but they kept it quiet, and he's ready to join the Dirty Birds now.
You know, I think I'm going to figure out what it means, but I'm excited to figure that out. And I already know that they're moving in the right direction. I'm excited to be a part of it. The emotions were running all over the place. The emotions were high. I was just trying to sit there and take it in for what it was.
We're excited about Drake. To get him, first of all, we always start with the makeup. We love the way the young man's wired. He's a tough, smart, competitive football player. The way he works, the way he competes, we're very excited to bring him. He fits our ethos. He fits the culture, everything that we want to be as a football team here. He fits it. He checks all those boxes.
I heard you guys also talking about that bet that Drake the rapper placed on Drake London, now the Falcon, being that first receiver taken off the board. And Drake London actually said last night that it was funny to see that, but at the end of the day, it was none of his business, and he's actually ready to get to work in Atlanta. We're live in Las Vegas for the NFL Draft. Good day, Atlanta. Kelly Price.
What a night, and looking forward to more. Kelly, thank you.
For more, we turn to Kelly Price, who is live at the site of tonight's draft in Las Vegas. And Kelly, is it still as vibrant as it looks behind you right now with the draft and everybody looking forward to day two?
Oh yeah, the vibes are great here in Las Vegas, and obviously this is an important day for the Falcons organization. This is the day that Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith really have to hit the jackpot, if you will. Hey, we're in Vegas, because this is the day where you really find guys that are going to be starters on your team in addition to that first round pick they had yesterday. And Falcons fans that we've been talking to here in Vegas are really excited for these picks today to also pan out. There's some prospects with local roots, also consensus best available heading into round two in just a few minutes. Quarterback Malik Willis still on the board. Will there be a quarterback run at the top of the second round today after Kenny Pickett being the only one drafted yesterday, or will Willis still be on the board for the Falcons with the 43rd overall pick? In addition, Georgia linebacker Nakobe Dean, who was a projected day one pick, remains available after 5 of his Dog teammates flew off the board yesterday. As for the Falcons, they still have a lot of needs to address, as you said, DJ, with one of the worst pass rushing defenses in the league in 2021 and a deep edge rushing class here in this draft. Someone who can get at quarterbacks has to be a priority early today. Some edge rushers still available. Minnesota defensive end Boye Mafe, 2 Atlanta natives, South Carolina's Kingsley Enagbari from Hayfield Charter, Western Kentucky's D'Angelo Malone, he went to Cedar Grove. Could Atlanta add another receiver? George Pickens could be a nice addition. North Dakota State's Christian Watson has impressed throughout this process. Lots of options for O-line targets as well. Central Michigan tight end turned offensive tackle Bernhard Raymond, Georgia's Jamari Salyer and Justin Schaefer, and Minnesota tackle Daniel Falele. So it'll be interesting to see how Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot kind of play their hand here. It's a very important day for this organization. As you know, DJ, today is where you make your money in those spots.
In the mix all day covering the draft. And Kelly, what was the reaction like from out there when the pick came down?
Well, for that Ebiketie pick that you're talking about there, not a lot of surprise. Obviously, Atlanta needed an edge rusher. It was the first time they actually filled that need today. They went and got another edge rusher later on tonight. But for Arnold Ebiketie, he's someone that comes from Penn State. He actually immigrated from Cameroon at 13 years old. So he has a really interesting backstory as well. He didn't even play football until sophomore year of high school. Like first-round pick Drake London, he also played basketball growing up. Ebiketie spent 2 seasons at Temple before he transferred to Penn State last year. Something he said he did so that he could go up against the best in college football. He led the Nittany Lions with 18 tackles for loss and 9.5 sacks, while totaling 62 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 pass defense. And getting that call to become a second-round pick tonight, he says it was incredible.
Special. You know, that's something that you think about. You're trying to go over it in your head, trying to figure out how you're going to feel in that particular moment. But the truth is, you don't really know till you get that call. It's special. Can't put words into it. Pressure is privilege. I'm taking it as a challenge, and I'm ready to go.
And if you find him on social media, he actually has the name Doctor in front of, or the abbreviation Doctor in front of his name. And he said that he actually gave himself that nickname because he calls himself the Doctor of Pass Rush. So that's something that's actually going to be welcome for one of the worst pass rush defenses in the league. We're live in Vegas. Back to you, DJ.
There's so many players from the great state of Georgia in this area, but oh man, the Falcons also drafted one of our former High Five Sports alumni in D'Angelo Malone from Western Kentucky. Our Kelly Price is live in Vegas with more on the hometown Malone. Kelly?
Yeah, DJ, the vibes here in Vegas are really good so far. We got Ice Cube going on behind us. I don't know if you guys can hear that, so I'm a little jealous that I'm missing that right now. But we're here to talk about our High Five sports star, D'Angelo Malone out of Cedar Grove. He is now an Atlanta Falcon coming home to his hometown team. After trading up for an edge rusher in the second round, the Falcons doubled down at that position to close out day 2, making him the 82nd overall pick. He finished his college career at Western Kentucky, #1 in school history in sacks, #2 in tackles for a loss, in addition to being a 2-time Conference USA Defensive Player of the Year and the Senior Bowl American Player of the Game. But maybe most importantly, as we said, he is a High Five Sports alum. He is a local guy. He's from the Atlanta area, so he's about to get swamped with ticket requests.
Oh man, it was a blessing. I'm very honored. Just being from Atlanta, a lot of people, like your family, so much support. And, I have diehard family that's really that's excited to come to the games. And, we're just excited to rise up, baby.
New Falcons linebacker Troy Anderson was also picked today. They brought in the new linebacker. He was also at the Senior Bowl along with D'Angelo Malone. He was the 58th overall pick. He has an interesting backstory. He grew up on a ranch, more than 750 head of cattle. He won some state titles in 3 sports. He was the valedictorian of his high school. Then he played almost every position possible at Montana State, including quarterback, which is something that still sticks with him.
I think I do whatever the team and coaches have needed. I love winning football games and competing and helping teams win is in whatever way they see fit. So just being a competitor and working hard and, playing my tail off. So I do think that playing quarterback was the most challenging mentally, but I think that's helped me so much in my transition to defense, understanding, spatial awareness and all right, safety's rotating down into cover 3. I know where my hook defenders are. I know where my help is in the fits. So I think that, that year was probably the hardest year, I guess. But it helped me a ton.
Live from Las Vegas for day 2 of the NFL Draft, Kelly Price, Fox 5 Sports.